We don't have to take our clothes off to have a good time. Oh, we can dance and party all night and drink some cherry wine. Oh, hello, it's all about good vibes right now. I am in a mood and I'm going to share it now that we've had that enjoyable serenity. We're going to start this video by closing our eyes. Let's do this really close. I want you guys to close your eyes. And I want us to breathe in. And just let it go. Let's do that again. Breathe it in. And just let that one go too. Ooh, that feels good, doesn't it? So I want to do this video as a result of feeling spicy and frisky. It's Friday afternoon, Friday evening. Now I want to ask you, this is a serious question and this has been on my consciousness, on my mind for, I shit you not, like the last 2 weeks. And it is the idea of demons. Now this whole video is in regards to, are the demons inside you or outside of you? It's a good question, right? Because oftentimes I feel like from our human perspective, we get so caught up on being attacked physically, attacked spiritually, always something external of us coming after us, right? You are making me angry. The way you're acting is making me angry. The way what you are saying is frustrating me. My partner needs to act a specific way to make me happier, or whatever the case may be. So we're so caught up on external factors influencing our internal experience. And we want to blame, we want to point the finger, we want to say, you need to change, you need to speak differently, you, rather than assessing our own internal experience. Now, I want to share with you the experience of the enlightenment of the Buddha. Now, the Buddha, when he achieved his final peak to enlightenment, he was sitting underneath the Bodhi tree. He was sitting in meditation, in samadhi meditation. When that happened, the Mara, the demon Mara, which is equivalent to the ego, which is equivalent to the conscious mind, the illusory mind, the separate self, right? The internal voice that tells us we are not the other, that we are separate. So Buddha is sitting in meditation in samadhi, and the Mara comes to Buddha and he says, you know, the Buddha, I'm not going to allow this to happen. You could see that the Buddha was close to enlightenment, to full awakening, to nirvana. And so the Mara sent his 3 virgin daughters to tempt and seduce Buddha. So the women were dancing and trying to seduce him. And Buddha sat there silent still. And the daughters disappeared. And then the Mara came to the Buddha and said, I'm going to attack you, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to have my entire army destroy you. So these demons appear, his army appears from up from the ground. And they begin to shoot arrows at the Buddha. And the Buddha sits there, silent still. And the arrows turn to flowers and they rain down from the skies. And then the Mara says, you are nothing. I am real. You are nothing. Look at my army will be my witness. It's just you, Buddha. It's just you. Who's going to be your witness? And the Buddha, in his stillness, touched the ground, representing that the earth would be Buddha's witness. And the Mara in his demon head and demon face dissolved. So I'm going to switch hands because my arm's shaking. So, there we go. I'm going to go lower. I'm going to go lower with it. There we go. My arm's not shaking anymore. Okay. So that story of Buddha's enlightenment, was the Mara, was it an external demon attacking Buddha? Or was it Buddha's inner self? Was it the illusory self? Was it the mind, the ego self that was distracting him from eternal understanding, from pure awakening, from bliss, from nirvana? The story of Jesus going out to the desert for 40 days and 40 nights is very similar to the Buddha. The Buddha achieved enlightenment after 49 days of sitting in meditation. And Jesus, 40 days and 40 nights, what happens? He has a duel with the devil. He has his battle with the devil. And the devil comes to Jesus and says, I will give you all earthly things. All earthly goods shall be yours. Shall never want for anything. All of it is yours. But what did Jesus do? He said, that's not enough for me. All the earthly goods in the world cannot equal the salvation of my soul, the eternalness of my being. In Judaism, Satan is used as a verb, not a noun, but it is an action. It is a behavior of separateness, of illusion, not a thing. So, is it that we are being attacked by demons? Or is it that we must face all the demons that are already present within us? Is it that we have to go protecting ourselves, disallowing and putting up a shield so that external forces can't penetrate? Or is it that we must look within ourselves to determine if those demons are present because of our own allowance of them, because of our own creation? Was it that hatred has always been present within us? Or is it that we place the hatred there? You know, there are so many questions. And I might not be giving you the answer. But as we look about these stories from these master teachers who we look up to, was it that their battle was with something outside of themselves? Or was it with the illusory self? Was it with the misunderstood self? Let's say, for example, that demons were real, external spiritual forces that were trying, malevolent external forces that were trying to attack us. If we go back to the very beginning, in the beginning there was God, pure consciousness, eternal love, eternal presence is God, right? God is love. So if all things are expressions of God, are manifestations, physical representations or spiritual representations of God, all things still have God present within them. Follow me. All things still have God, which equals love, which equals light, present within them. Everything. There can be nothing without God. Everything has God presence within them. Everything. So if everything has God presence within them and there are demonic forces, those demonic forces are still present with God. Omnipresence, present within everything. God is all. So, is it that we have to fight darkness with darkness? Or is it that we have to fight darkness with light? As the great Martin Luther King said, darkness cannot drive out darkness, only light can do that. Hate cannot drive out hate, only love can do that. If we want to rid the demonic forces of the world, do we fight them with anger and fear and frustration and resentment? Or do we fight them with compassion? Do we fight them with love? Do we fight them with acceptance? So often, damn, my arm is shaking. So often I see so many of my Christian brothers and sisters, so many of my religious brothers and sisters wanting to fight with judgment, with blame, with, I don't know what the right word is. Judgment's the best word. Instead of fighting with love, fighting with acceptance, fighting with wisdom. Is it more important to have knowledge, or is it more important to have wisdom? Is it more important to have science, or is it more important to have eternal knowingness? They can go hand in hand. But one will allow for constraint. Science allows for constraint. Knowledge allows for constraint. Wisdom, eternal knowingness, allows for only freedom. So in our distracted state of looking at those demonic forces, if you will, or darkness as something that can come in on us, is it that we have to fear, which is darkness, more of that? Do we have to fear that? Do we have to fight that with resentment, with anger, with fervor? Or do we have to love that deeper? Do we have to remind that of its source? That is God. You know, these are such good questions because we no longer give power to something external of us. We take back the power, remembering that we are manifestations of God. We are the sons and daughters of God. What the Father has, He gives freely to His children. Everything that the Father is ours. If you're a Christian, look back to the story of when the boy that was possessed, he came to Jesus' disciples. Jesus was out, I think he was at the temple at that time. And he comes back, and the boy had been brought by his father to the disciples and said, "Please heal my child. His teeth gnasheth, and he drools from his tongue," and all these metaphorical things. And the disciples can't heal him. So Jesus returns, and they say, "Brother, teacher, we can't heal him." And he looks and he says, "O faithless men, how long shall I be with thee?" In exasperation, he says, "How long will you lean on me? to do the good that you can do, right? O faithless men, how long shall I be with thee? And then Jesus heals the boy. And when they say, why could you do it? And the father says, why could you do that and we couldn't? And Jesus says, all things are possible to he that believes. Was it that there was an external demon that Jesus cast out? Or was he recognizing the divinity within the child, the light within the child? Was he reminding him of the Godness within him, of the God presence, of the source of his being, and bringing that out right here? His demon is here, his Mara, his Christness is here. Which one did he choose? That's the question. That's the metaphor for our entire life. Is the demon within you, or is it external of you? Is it without, or is it within? Where is it? If it's without, remind it of its light. If it's within, remind it of its light. The task is simply that. Not allowing darkness to get darker, but reminding darkness of the ever-present light within, of that spark of infinite presence of God. That is our path, brothers and sisters. The demons, wherever they are in your life, they're inside you. Look at them and remind them of the light. If you are angry, look towards love. If you are resentful, look towards compassion, understanding. If you are pessimistic, look towards optimism. Acknowledge its presence. Acknowledge where you are, but move towards the light. Move towards love, even if it's a movement slow and steady, not from pessimism to optimism, but maybe from anger to a little bit of resentment, then from resentment to a little bit of blame, then from blame to a little bit of compassion, or not compassion, that's a little bit too big of a jump, but to pessimism, then from pessimism to feeling okay, then from feeling okay to feeling a little bit better, I feel okay, I feel good, then feeling optimistic, then feeling hopeful, then feeling compassionate, then feeling love and appreciation and joy. Move towards the light. God is love, the eternal presence moving, pervading all things. God, blessed is beautiful. I'm a follower of the Christ, of Jesus. I'm a follower of Buddha. I'm a follower of Krishna. All those who came before that said we are love. The fight is an internal fight. Hopefully, I've been able to give you some of that in this long-ass video. I was dealing with the last 2 weeks, I kid you not, I thought for sure there was some external force trying to invade me, take my consciousness over. But it wasn't that. It was that I had to face the fears within my own heart. I had to face the fears that I was holding on to. And obviously these are still going to arise and still come about. But as I chose to accept them, love them, understand them, and remind myself that all things are of God, it's just simply the reminder. You can be the reminder in your life, not only for yourself, but for others. You can be the light of God. What else did Jesus say? Of the works I do, ye shall also do, and greater works shall ye do. You will bring more light into this world. But you have to be that. Be the light. You are the light. That is you. That is your presence. I love you. I'm going to do my best to keep being the light. And I hope you do that as well. Remind yourself. Have those inner conversations. And in times of struggle, when you just feel like you can't do it on your own, ask for help. Ask your angels. Ask Jesus. Ask Buddha. Ask the eternal God presence. Ask your archangels. Ask your descended family members who are now in the light. They can remind you. Ask for help. It's there. You don't have to do it all on your own. And you don't have to believe everything you think. You don't have to believe everything you think unless it resonates with the knowing of your heart. I love you guys. I appreciate you watching. If this video helped you in some way, share it. Share it, share it, share it. Let's be the light for this world. Let's evolve ourselves, our planet, our beingness, our species, our souls. That's our purpose. That's what we're here for. Let's do it. I love you guys. I'll talk to you next time. Bye.